Next, 6C, we have a presentation from Jeff Schneider on his travels to Sister Cities Exchange Program to Ikata, Japan.
Yes, Council Vice President Hove, Mayor Dowse, council members, thank you very much for allowing us to speak to you today. I have with me today David Summerfield and Jack Cry. These are two of the students that I accompanied to Ikata, Japan. I think, first off, the first thing we want to say is to the Sister Cities Commission and to the council is thank you very much for the honor of representing our home, the city of Red Wing. It was a tremendous opportunity and adventure, and I think that the students did a wonderful job of representing the values of the city of Red Wing. So the cast of characters were 4 students from the city of Red Wing, from Red Wing High School, and of course 1 chaperone from the Public Works Department.
Who was that? No, I'm just kidding.
So we had David Summerfield here, resting his toes in some hot water for some reason. We have Micah Marks. We had Eva Enberg and Jack Cry. And of course, Jeff Schneider.
What did we hope to get from this trip? An opportunity to see the world. This was my first time going out of the country, and I've wanted to go to Japan for 3 years, so it was really exciting to get to go. Life experiences and personal development. This was my first time leaving my family, going somewhere so far away, and so it was a chance to see what I knew and what my Japanese host families could teach me. Make lifelong friends. I got to make new friends there, but I hosted a boy, Shun, last year who came from Ikata, and I got to reconnect with him, and I got to see his family and live in his house.
Most importantly, the opportunity to meet the Japanese people. So when I went there initially, I was just completely out of it, culture shock and everything. But as I immersed myself in the Japanese family, I picked up on everything from the chopstick etiquette to the simple phrases to the head nods and the gestures, which I didn't even know I'd acquired initially. But when I got home, I noticed I was bowing to everybody and muttering Japanese phrases at people in the convenience store. So that really stuck with me as a cultural experience that if I were to return there, I would be very comfortable.
Hi. So we met a tremendous variety of different people, and it was just amazing. Everybody from the guard at Matsuyama, who was more than willing to take pictures with us, to a newly married couple that we came across also at Matsuyama Castle. To the opportunity to experience family life in Ikata. This is actually a picture from Toshiko's kitchen with Ashiko and Shika, who were playing guitar and some percussion for me before we had lunch. And it was amazing, just to be a part of that, to be interjected into that situation where I had that opportunity. And yes, I picked up a guitar and played poorly myself. So, other people of Ikata, like Toshiko here, she was a tremendous guide for me, and taking me everywhere from the bank to the local convenience store, and of course the hotel cook, who was really neat. She's a good cook. So our destination ultimately was Japan, which you see on the right, the islands of Japan, and then ultimately would be the city of Ikata, which is represented by that pin prick right there on the right, and then on the left here, it's kind of right down in this bay, but really, Ikata is made up of the whole peninsula there. So these gentlemen were actually able to stay in different places throughout their trip. I think, Jack, did you go to 3 different households? Mm-hmm. And then you were
I was at 2.
2 different households. So it was a great opportunity not just to see one family, but to see several families and see how, they're different and similar.
Okay, so our first day, we started by going on the incredibly efficient transport system they have there. They have tons of trains that can just take you anywhere in the city. From there, we went to this museum where we saw tons of historical things, just things that went back thousands of years. It was incredible. Then we went around to this beautiful park. Go back.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, we went to this beautiful park with just probably millions of lilies, and the temple there. We went to 2 separate temples, and it was just incredibly beautiful, all the sites that they had just set up in the middle of the city. Day 2, we went to the tech center of Japan and Tokyo. It's called Akihabara, and they have tons of neon advertisements. It's known for this insanely commercialized dense buildings and all the advertisements and lights, and it was very beautiful at night.
Day 3, we went to Kyoto, Japan, which is the old capital of Japan. So here is a temple we went to, but there's many temples throughout the city.
On day 4, then, we visited Hiroshima, Japan, specifically the atomic dome site, which gave us a chance for somber reflection on the events that took place to end World War II here. It was incredibly humbling to hear some of the stories, the firsthand stories of the victims of the atomic dome blast, or the atomic bomb blast, and it was very compelling and sad. We arrived in Ehime later that day. Ehime is the state or the prefecture that Ikata is located in, and we were welcomed with very, very nicely with the American flag and the Japanese flag, and the exchange students that were going to be coming to America after our visit to Ikata, and some of the ALT students. Ultimately, we ended up in Ikata, Japan. Right there is the lighthouse that is at the very end of the peninsula in Ikata. Here's a picture of the students and their chaperone with the Matsuyama guards. But really, I was asked at one point, what was my favorite part of the trip itself? And for me, my favorite part was Ikata. Beyond, the bright lights of Tokyo or Kyoto, it was Ikata. And it was because of people of Ikata. They know hospitality. They went above and beyond to make us all feel so very welcome and make us feel so well cared for that it was overwhelming. They were just beyond friendly. One of the things that really made a special impression for me was, seeing the American flag fly side by side with the Japanese flag, which they did during our whole stay to Ikata, which I don't know if they place the same importance on the flag that we do here in the United States, but clearly we were flying side by side, and it was just a very nice, welcoming gesture. The natural beauty of Ikata, it's gorgeous. You're on a peninsula that you have water on one side and water on the other, and in the middle, big hills. So it is just clean. The sites are breathtaking, and of course, I think finally is the historic sites and offerings. The museums are beyond compare that I've been to. And I've been to London museums and stuff, but the history is so well preserved in Ikata that it was just amazing. And I asked each of the guys here to kind of give their a view of what they thought was special for them in Ikata.
What was special for me in Ikata was going to a temple with my last host family. It was Mr. Takata, who was the chaperone last year, and he took me to the temple and showed me around and taught me what to do. And it was special because that's something he did every holiday with his family, and he got to share that experience with me.
For me, as mundane as it seems, the most special experience for me was the bus ride from where we had landed to Ikata, because that was the time when all the American students broke ice with the Japanese students, and I had never really been comfortable with my Japanese language skills before that, but I just started, rambling on and messing things up and making jokes, and all of us had a really great time. And when I had gotten to the destination, we had this big welcoming party, and I got to meet my host family, and I said to my host father, "Kyou wa totemo atsui desu ne," which is, it is incredibly hot today, isn't it? And everybody just agreed because it was like something like 105 and humid the entire day, just sweat. So it was just incredibly humbling.
So, you know, the end results here, what did we get out of this? Well, not so much me, but me too, I guess, but mostly the students. What I think, you know, that really the benefit for the students was, you know, being able to find themselves comfortable and able to get by in a foreign environment, you know. The self-development that they earned from this trip, I think is critical. You know, the self-confidence that they gained from this trip is just an amazing thing. It's a huge sense of accomplishment, I think, for the students and for me, to go somewhere, you know, that we've never been before and actually get by and get by successfully. Learning about international issues and having the opportunity to learn different cultural perspectives and community perspectives is just a great opportunity, I think, for them in their future development. And of course, you know, they have an enhanced interest in global issues here from something like this as well. So I think, you know, at the end of the year, we're just going to end up here with a final Japanese phrase that kind of summed up each of our experiences. Mine is koko wa atsui, which is it's very hot here.
Nihon wa usu kusai desu. Japan is beautiful.
日本人と話すのはとても報酬でした. And that means speaking with the Japanese people was incredibly rewarding.
どうもありがとうございます。
Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much.